29-year-old veteran Kyle Bradish on the mound to try to pitch the Orioles to a series split. And it's time for our pitcher profile presented by Ford. And Jim, you watch Kyle Bradish, you're very familiar with him. His last 4 have been excellent, and he has leaned on a big curveball of late.
Yeah, he only has a curveball. Last year, the slider was about 2 for 31. I mean, it's incredible. This year, he got trouble. You know, Tommy John, back in 2024, came back, pitched 9 times last year, actually pitched quite well. He was just wild. You know, he's one of the lowest first strike throwers in the big league, so that's not what you want to do. But again, plus stuff, 2-seamer is his best fastball, 95 miles per hour, curveball, slider, and again, the ability. He's a pretty good fielder, too.
He has had some trouble historically with the Toronto Blue Jays as we check John Schneider's starting lineup presented by Capital One. And that guy is the featured piece, Dex. But there's been a lot of conversation around the relative lack of power, home runs specifically, from the 5-time All-Star Vlad Guerrero.
You know what? I hate when people say that. You got Vladdy Jr. in there, and you can go ahead and pencil him in the 20 and 100 at all times. So whenever it comes, it's going to come.
And hopefully for Kyle Bradish is saying not today.
Not today.
But again, he's having a great series. As you said, Matt, he's 6 for 12. He got 4 hits yesterday, hitting the ball all over the ballpark, hitting it hard. So it's a matter of getting a pitch that he can elevate, and we'll see if he's able to do that off of Bradish.
You know, the Orioles are an interesting lineup because they've got the second highest swing rate, the Blue Jays, I beg your pardon, second highest swing rate in the sport, third highest contact rate in the sport, but they chase a lot. So there is swing and miss there for the right answer, and Kyle Bradish hoping to tap into that here today. Nathan Lucas ready to start things here for Toronto. Lucas, Guerrero, and Varsho to start things for the Jays, who were again denied a chance to win a 5th straight and get over 500 yesterday. Toronto looking to get back on track this afternoon. Baltimore hoping to split the series after a pair of losses here on Thursday and Friday. Underway on Sunday leadoff.
Hey, I knew he was going first pitch swinging right there. He's got to get his team back after that loss yesterday. He's like, hey, I'm going to start this game off right.
Well, no better guy. I mean, he's 18 for his last 37 after going 0 for 23. And what did you say? That's baseball.
That's baseball. That's baseball.
Lucas, one of the many Toronto Blue Jays hitters, I mean, I should involve pitchers in this statement too, to have spent time on the injured list this year. Vertigo cost him a prompt start to the season, and he was really missed. A big left-handed presence for John Schneider, and a Jays lineup that went healthy, has a lot of balance.
Hey, that right there. You need that's how you hit 18. That's how you.
Yeah,
hit 18
well, now it's 19 for.
19.
It's getting worse if you're Kyle Bradish. And to your point, that's a really good pitcher's pitch, but even better hitting. Watch him stay inside it and just fights it off.
Absolutely.
So that's what, Matt, you were talking about, making contact, not trying to overswing, and sometimes you get lucky and then you get this guy up.
We talk about exit velocity. A hit's a hit. No pitchers in the scorebook.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr., as we mentioned, 6 for 12 in the series so far. He has driven in a couple of runs here in Baltimore this weekend.
And loves to be, he loves the ball out over the plate. I don't care if it's a breaking ball or, we'll see if Bradish throws him a lot of sliders and curveballs. And there's the slider. This year, not his best pitch. Last year, almost unhittable.
Big numbers in this ballpark for Vlad, who has similar big numbers throughout the division. Big numbers at Yankee Stadium, Fenway Park. 1-1 from Bradish. Popped up. Will it stay playable for Alonso? It will.
Yeah. As he tiptoes over.
Boy, Alonso has profiled into a much better defender than what perhaps the Mets front office thought of him when he was allowed to depart as a free agent and come to Baltimore over the winter. Last year was a -9 outs above average player. This year it's a +4.
Oh, he's been really good on whether it's with first pitch hitting for Varsho, and that's going to be should be a routine out. But the one thing, he went to spring training and a new coaching staff other than the pitching coaches here in Baltimore, and Miguel Cairo, who was a longtime player, coach, manager, done a lot of work with him. I heard he had trouble throwing with first baseman's covering. That's not been the case, and he's been really good both to his right and his left, and balls in the dirt.
I'll tell you this, as a player, when that's your knock, especially with your old team, you're going to sit there and you're going to really work hard to disappoint them, especially if you go to somewhere else. You can speak to that. Players, we have a good memory on the bad stuff that people say to us.
I mean, I just, from watching him hit, from watching him play, from watching the enthusiasm, I'm kind of wondering how you could let a guy like that go.
I think they're feeling it right now.
0-1 the count to Kazuma Okamoto, who's had a nice series homering in back-to-back games. And he's behind 0-2. We saw Craig Albernaz a moment ago, first-year manager of the Baltimore Orioles. And a guy who took over as a young man, 43 years old. He has earned the trust of his lineup for sure, of his roster. And he is among those that spoke very highly of Pete Alonso when we visited with him before the game. And good afternoon, good night. I forgot good morning. 3-pitch strikeout to Okamoto. Nothing despite the leadoff single. Scoreless top of the first, on to the home half of inning number 1 on Sunday. Leadoff in front of a packed house on a beautiful day for baseball. And it is beautiful for Spencer Miles to not only get an opportunity to make a big league roster, Rule 5 selection by the Jays in the winter off the Giants roster, but get an opportunity to make his second career major league start this afternoon. And he deserves the opportunity. He has been fantastic working in long relief. He has made one start previously. This might be the beginning of an every 5-day thing for Spencer Miles, who's been really good for the Jays. He's underway with strike 1 to Taylor Ward. We'll set the rest of the Orioles lineup for you. Baltimore's lineup brought to you by Capital One. Behind Taylor Ward, Henderson and Rutschman here in the first. We'll get to the rest of the group here in a moment. Oh. And it's a ball and a strike to one of the most patient hitters in the game. The rest of the Orioles.
Oh, go ahead. Here they are.
Cowser, Alexander, and Holiday. Pretty good bottom third of the lineup for Craig Albernaz. And a strike to make it 1-2.
Well, they're scoring almost 5 runs a game at home. Now on the road's a little different, very much like the Jays. They're at 3.6. The Orioles are at 4 runs, and both of them have losing records on the road.
On the ground for Ernie Clement.
So the question, Dexter, when you have a sinker ball pitcher, which is what Spencer Miles is, I mean, he's thrown that's 51 balls now on the ground, only 23 in the air. What's your approach?
My approach is to get him up in the zone. If he's throwing sinker balls, go with the pitch. I think a lot of guys, he probably has late movement, which is why he's getting those ground balls and guys are just missing barrels. But the fact is, if you get him up, that's coming towards us. Almost got my first foul ball.
Do you win a Gold Glove?
I did not. I had you know what? I made a lot of Gold Glovers. If that makes sense. Oh, my left field and my right fielders, they all got Gold Gloves, and I never got one. And I was going to get most of the balls.
Take a look at Miles' arsenal. He is a little heavier on the curveball to left-handed batters like Gunnar Henderson.
What did John Schneider told us? He came up with a slider in spring training. Now, he comes out of the University in Missouri, and guess who else was a Missouri guy that has 220 wins and only 120 losses? Max Scherzer. Oh. Max says he hangs on every word, so I have to be very careful what I tell him.
And that's punched to the left side of the infield for Okamoto. Couple of ground ball outs start the afternoon for Spencer Miles.
And I think if I was a young pitcher, I might be listening to Max too.
I definitely would listen to Max. Max has been in the game for a long time. Those are the vets that you need in the locker room.
Well, you had to face
lean
him.
on. I had to face him a lot. You know what I loved about Max? Max would come after you. It wasn't, here, hit this. Here, I'm going to throw it again. You fouled it off, I'm going to throw it again. He liked to throw back-to-back. If he missed it with his pitch, he's coming back with it.
Adley Rutschman now with 2 gone and the bases empty. I think you could say something similar to Spencer Miles. He's only 25 years old. He doesn't have the kind of canvas on his career that Max Scherzer does, but he is a very aggressive starter. 33 innings entering into today.
Yeah, that'll be the question, how long they'll let him go. I mean, he's maxed out at, what, 66 pitches, and very efficient.
And that's what it takes. That's why you got a 2-1.
Already 10 3-pitch strikeouts for Miles in those 33 innings this year.
Yeah, 2 home runs. Those were in the first of the 4 games he pitched, and since then in about 13 hasn't given up a home run. So hard to hit home runs on ground balls.
And it's a strike to get back in the count to Rutschman. Baltimore exceedingly patient yesterday, though their lineup didn't really deliver with runners in scoring position until the bottom of the 9th. They did earn 11 walks yesterday. Rutschman with a ball well hit out to center field. Varsho back at the track to make the catch a step in front of the wall. And a 1-2-3 start to the ball game for Spencer Miles. Ernie Clement, Jesus Sanchez, Charles McAdoo lead things off here in the Toronto half of the second. FanDuel's the home of home runs. Live bet the long ball with profit boosts on live homers bets every Sunday. Download the Sportsbook app now to play your game. And if you like Ernie Clement to homer today, how about a plus 1,400 for your dollar?
This guy hasn't seen a first pitch he doesn't like.
I'm telling you, man. We asked John Schneider about this kind of jokingly before the game. If Ernie gets 4 plate appearances today, how many first pitch swings? And he thought for a moment. He said at least 3.
He did.
He is up there hacking.
And he makes great contact.
Ground ball for Gunnar Henderson.
See, that's the 2-seamer. And when Kyle Bradish, Mike Elias got here, what, the winter of 2018. The next winter, he traded Dylan Bundy to the Angels, and they got Bradish along with a number of other players. He did not have a 2-seam fastball, so everything cut. And it was 95, 96. They're hitting 350. All of a sudden, 2-seamer. And all of a sudden now he can pitch into the righties, as he just did.
Here is the left-handed hitting Jesus Sanchez now. 2 for 5 so far in the series. Jay's up there swinging very aggressively at Bradish.
You could tell they went in the scouting report and they were like, hey, this dude tries to get ahead, so let's beat him to the punch.
6 batters so far. 5 of them have swung at the first pitch. Ball and a strike to Sanchez.
Yeah, no at bats against Kyle Bradish. The one guy that I thought might play, but he's probably apparently too old.
Too old. We already talked to him. He's too old to play in the 12 o'clock game.
He's 8 for 19 off of Bradish. If I was pitching and I saw that George Springer, who was 8 for 19 off me, I would go. I'd send him a thank you card.
8 for 19. Those are real numbers, yeah, right?
With a home run and 3 RBIs.
2 balls and a strike to Jesus Sanchez. Sharply hit past the diving Holiday on into right field. And it's the second hit of the afternoon for Toronto.
Yeah, there's your curveball. You know, he saw one, and then this one maybe not quite as good in the strike zone. Yeah, this kid, double yesterday. What a grand slam before they came to Baltimore.
So with a man aboard and 1 away, it's the rookie first baseman Charles McAdoo, who put his name into franchise history books with a homer in his first plate appearance Friday here in Baltimore as he takes a strike.
Well, that's the game the Orioles. Trevor Rogers pitched great. The Blue Jays only had 2 hits going into the 7th. Base hit by Springer, who's not playing today.
Veterans Day. I call it a Veterans Day.
And then Nakamoto hits a 2-run home run. Then another single. And then McAdoo hits it to right field. And this is Camden Yards. Short porch. Dodgers are going to make a nice effort. Just can't get there. And all of a sudden 5-0 is now 5-4.
See, this is what we talk about with pitchers. Pitchers like Jim, hey, short porch, he drops that. Hey, a homer's a homer, right?
No,
the pitcher's like, hey, you know what, short porch, that'd have been an out. But you know what?
But it is a short porch.
It is, and it doesn't seem like, Jim, the Orioles have been able to make up their mind as to what they want left field to look like here. They've changed that dimension a few times over the last number of years.
Well, they have. It went all the way to 398.
McAdoo with a shot back up the middle on a couple of hops. Holiday to Henderson, back to Alonso. They get them both. We'll table the discussion on Camden Yards left field dimensions until a little bit later on today. Double play keeps the game scoreless early in Baltimore. Pete Alonso recreating a scene from one of those Tom Amansky videotapes on how to defend at first base and pick balls out of the dirt. The series that made Fred McGriff and that very puffy cap famous back in the 1990s. And Pete leads things off here in the home half of inning number 2. Alonso, Basayo, and Taveras here against Spencer Miles. Pete 3 for 12 in the series, homered on Friday. And the 5-time All-Star, as we talked about when we went on the air decks, starting to heat up.
He is starting to heat up. They're going to have to throw a "the" in front of his name, the Pete Alonso, because this dude, we always talk about guys starting slow when they first go to a different organization. If we're all humans, right? So coming in, guys got to get acclimated to their environment, and that's part of it, I think, with Pete Alonso.
Yeah, I think he didn't hit his home run till the 5th game, which is the only time in his career. Again, maybe trying a little bit too much, and then, of course, he's made up for it.
And he bounces one back up the middle.
I mean, to me, the intriguing thing yesterday when he got the game-winning hit is Orioles bounced into 4 double plays yesterday. One with the bases loaded when Pete came up. Okamoto made a great play at third base, and I'm figuring right here, but this is what he's been doing to get hot. Up the middle, and then, of course, when he hits fly balls to right field, they go out.
Barry Bonds used to tell me all the time, he goes, Dex, in the beginning of the season, get your hits. Don't worry about the power. Get your hits. You get your average up, and then it kind of, gets you so you can take a deep breath.
So the leadoff hitter report now for Samuel Basayo. 3 for 6 in the series, homered on Friday. There was some concern around him yesterday as he appeared to hurt himself in the 9th inning. But a mild hand injury, something he shook off back out there today.
Yeah, he took a swing. The only guy that Hoffman got out, he threw him I don't know if it was a splitter or a sinker that just, dived out of the strike zone, swung at it, ended up swinging with one hand, and then didn't think he would be coming back. I think he could have come back. It was just a momentary injury. But the curveball that he hit for a home run the other day was 4 inches off the outside corner, and he just, kind of like Alonso, he just flies out. This kid at 21 can hit him out anywhere. And he's catching. That's such a difficult job.
That is.
Ball and 2 strikes, the count to Basayo.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the one place I have not seen them, and we'll see if Miles does it. They try to pitch him away, and boy, he's good out over the plate. But up and in, I mean, how many hitters? The old scouting report, high and tight, low and away.
Still a ball and 2 strikes to the rookie slugger, 2nd highest slugging percentage among rookies in the sport. The guy that's got the highest is now on the IL, Munetaka Murakami, after the hamstring injury. He's expected to miss 4 to 6 weeks. Such a bad note for the White Sox, who are trending in the right direction. Easy take to make the count 2 balls and 2 strikes on Basayo.
Dexter, you ever hurt an oblique, or you have any leg injuries?
Intercostal. I did an intercostal in Houston, and I did a ACL, MCL meniscus in Anaheim.
Well, that's when you were old, so that we're not counting that. I mean,
that's when I was older.
You
I was
told me.
older.
You were telling me the story of that.
Against these very Blue Jays.
That was early in the season too, wasn't it?
7th game of the season, first road trip. 2nd game of the road trip. He gone.
Not exactly a stolen base threat. Pete Alonso draws a throw anyway. He does have an aggressive lead over there.
A rare walk.
Man, what a plate appearance that was from Basayo. Number of foul balls, and it's 1st and 2nd now with nobody out.
Well, you mentioned the 11 walks by the Orioles yesterday. A lot of times hitters will earn walks because they don't swing at the pitches you want them to throw them. The Orioles didn't have to earn them yesterday. Savage is a really good young pitcher at 22, but he was exceptionally wild.
So now an opportunity for Leody Taveras, who's 3 for 10 in the series. And time was called by Brandon Valenzuela there. So yesterday, before the 9th inning heroics, the Orioles had been 1 for 17 with runners in scoring position this series. Taveras drops down a bunt, and it's a good one.
Love that.
Well, he amazes me because how many major leaguers can really bunt, and every time they ask him to sacrifice, he gets it down.
You know why? Because he practices it.
What an idea. What a novel.
Right? I mean, how many people go in the cage? I'm sure he goes in the cage and he's off the machine and he's laying down bunts because that's part of his game. And a lot of times we come to the big leagues and you kind of lose that from the minor leagues.
So now 2nd and 3rd with 1 gone for Colton Cowser, who's had a pretty good week. Walk-off homers in back-to-back games earlier this week.
1 on a cutter, 1 on a fastball. He's a really good fastball hitter. He has trouble with the changeups, and Miles doesn't throw a lot of them. So what's he going to do? Try to get him out with breaking balls.
Count is 0-2 on Colton Cowser.
I mean, great hitting situation. You only got 1 out, infield in, trying to cut off a run at the plate. But you got to make contact. What did you do here? When you first came up, because
runners at 2nd and 3rd, less than 2 outs, infield in. What you're trying to do is you're trying to not get too big because a bloop is 2 runs. Yeah. Right? Everybody tries to hit the big home run. You just got to try to find barrel, hit the ball hard, and see where it goes because you're playing with house money. An out is a run, an outfield.
Blaze Alexander waiting on deck. A right-handed hitter due up next. And Miles misses inside.
Yeah, you go back to the first inning of the first game of this series. The Orioles had runners at 2nd, 3rd, nobody out. With Rutschman and then Alonso, the 3 of your better hitters did not score or lose 2-1.
2-2.
Yeah, those are the opportunities you got to capitalize on because you never know where you're going to get them again, especially with your guys coming up.
The Orioles have not been a particularly good 2-strike hitting team. In fact, that's probably a generous way of saying it. They're batting a major league worst 145 with 2 strikes this year collectively. On the ground for Clement, and they will yield a run for the out.
It's good base running right there. Obviously going on contact. As soon as it was hit, got a good, and not the fastest base runner either. And Pete Alonso.
So it's an RBI for Colton Cowser.
He's actually back. He was not on the grass because if he is, I would imagine he's coming home. And then I think he did the most judicious thing was, hey, I better get it out. I'll give him a run, but I don't want to have a big inning.
And now Blaze Alexander. He was in earlier in the count, right? Did he back up with 2 strikes?
Yes.
And that's your third base coach coming to you and whispering in your ear, hey, any ball to the right side, probably going to go. To the left side, probably not, because he sees what's happening.
So run in, runner at 3rd with 2 gone. And Blaze Alexander, who had a career day on Wednesday, a career best 6 runs batted in, has a chance here with a man at 3rd. Jackson Holliday getting ready to bat next. Should Alexander have success?
Well, 350 after I didn't hit well in April, didn't play as much. What I have seen from him, number one, as Craig Albernuss said, really using the whole field, and talk about a guy with a great arm and a guy that can play defense, and he can play all over. He's even played outfield, but he mostly third and shortstop.
2 balls and a strike to count to Blaze Alexander. Blaze a part of the smaller off-season overhaul by way of Phoenix, the former Diamondback. Oh. A strike that literally bounces out of the glove, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, the timing was perfect. One of the Orioles' better players has trouble staying healthy, and that's Jordan Westburg. He has an elbow problem, eventually has to have Tommy John, and it happens the day after they signed Blaze Alexander. So a stroke of good fortune, and not for Westburg, who's, again, a terrific all-around player if he can stay healthy.
Great name, though, Blaze.
And it's 3-2 to Blaze. You know, it's interesting because the Orioles are so often referred to, Jim, as a young team. They are not necessarily a young team. When you put it all together, 6th oldest roster in the sport. They've got young stars, young potential stars. Alexander among them, and he draws ball 4.
And did he challenge it or not? Maybe not.
And I guess part of the reason that we refer to the Orioles as a younger roster, as you take a look as to how close this was, that's up, is that the guys that we talk about so often on this Orioles roster are the younger players, like Jackson Holliday, first overall draft pick back in 2022.
He's only 22.
So here we go with runners at first and third. Second walk of the inning issued by Miles.
And he's got power, he's got speed. Really been working hard on his defense. Had the Hammond bone where he had to do the surgery, so took a while for him to get back, but they are a much better team when he plays.
Boy,
and he's even had a chance to play against some lefties, which I think is going to be the big question.
Well, the kid can hit. There's no doubt about it. I remember throwing him BP when he was 5 years old, and Matt Holliday went to shower and said, "Hey, throw my son some BP." And I'm throwing him BP in the cages, and he ends up hitting all the balls. And I'm like, "All right, Jackson, it's time to pick up the balls." Jackson said, "You pick up the balls." I said, whoa. We won't hit again if you're not going to help me pick up the balls. He finally caved in and started picking up the balls. We went back to BP, but this makes me feel old when I see him in the big leagues playing. We always knew he was going to be a big leaguer. He's always been able to hit. It's just a matter about going out every day and showing that he deserves to be here, and he's been doing it.
Yeah, 17 home runs, 17 steals. Got caught early last year and then got much more efficient in stealing bases.
Top 3, Orioles up 1-0 on the Blue Jays with Craig Albernuss. Craig, it's a single, it's a walk, it's a sac bunt, and then an RBI ground out. How much does that embody what this offense is doing right now?
Yeah, I mean, we have to be a diverse offense, especially a guy like Miles. I mean, his sinker is really good, and as we show him, hitting the ball on the ground. So being able to get the runners in scoring position there, second and third, and Pete did a great job on the contact read, getting the secondary and being able to score.
Kyle Bradish, from last year to this year, curveball usage from 12% to 22%. What's it say about him, the way that he's adapted as a pitcher?
Yeah, his ability to spin the baseball is really impressive. You know, his slider has always been elite. His curveball is a really elite pitch as well. So when you pair those two together, especially with 2 fastball profiles, it makes it tough on the hitter, as long as he's throwing strikes, which he is right now.
Craig, thanks.
Thanks, brother.
Maddie? Top 3, Orioles up. It's a single, it's a walk, it's a sac bunt, and then an RBI ground out. How much does that embody what this offense is doing right now?
Yeah, I mean, we have to be a diverse offense, especially a guy like Miles. I mean, his sinker is really, really good, and as we show him hitting the ball on the ground, so being able to get the runners in scoring position there, second and third, and Pete did a great job on the contact read, getting the secondary and being able to score.
Kyle Bradish, from last year to this year, curveball usage from 12% to 22%. What's it say about him, the way that he's adapted as a pitcher?
Yeah, his ability to spin the baseball is really impressive. You know, his slider has always been elite. His curveball is a really elite pitch as well. So when you pair those two together, especially with two fastball profiles, it makes it tough on the hitter, as long as he's throwing strikes, which he is right now.
Right, thanks.
Thanks, brother.
Matty?
Yeah, John, we had a chance to kind of go deeper on that particular narrative on Kyle Bradish with Craig Albertaz before the game, and I thought it was interesting. After his first handful of starts, the team looked at the data, the team looked at tape, and they kind of nudged Kyle in the curveball direction about a month ago, and it's kind of stuck.
Anytime you mix in an extra pitch or a different pitch, it's going to help your repertoire, especially if guys are on your other pitches.
2 balls and a strike to Andres Jimenez, leading things off in the Toronto third on a couple of convenient hops for Alonso. Back to the pitcher covering for out number 1.
And it kind of makes those pitches play up.
Yeah, well,
Your other pitches.
you don't know what to look for. And again,
Exactly.
the quality of his breaking pitches are amazing. The other thing, though, I mean, when you're, last year he had 9 starts after Tommy John. They only hit 2 for 31 off his slider. So you come into the year, you go, oh, I'm going to throw a lot of sliders. And all of a sudden you're not throwing them, they're hitting him. He was very wild the first 4 or 5 starts, which is unusual for him.
Here's the switch hitting catcher Brandon Valenzuela now batting with 1 away, and the base is empty here in the third. A noticeable tick up in usage on that curveball for Kyle Bradish. Brandon Valenzuela's had a nice run in May, getting a chance as the primary starter in the absence of Alejandro Kirk. He's got a .400 on base percentage this month.
Probably a good time to do it because he probably feels that Kirk's coming.
It's going to make for some interesting choices for the Jays. There's a fly ball the other way and left. Taylor Ward started back and makes an easy recovery for out number 2. I mean, that's baseball, right? One of your stars goes down, one of the most important players on your roster, opens up an opportunity for a guy who might have seen a road jam, a roadblock ahead of him. And Brandon Valenzuela's on the map now. Really good player that the Toronto Blue Jays acquired from San Diego for Will Wagner. And everybody's kind of taking notice.
Yeah, and the other night, great pickoff to get him out of a big situation in a 1-run ball game.
Strike 1 to Nathan Lucas.
And probably will be the back when Kirk comes back. And they said, what did John Slater said, 2-3 weeks, broken thumb, the left thumb. So he'll come back and he'll probably be the backup guy. And he knows what he's doing.
But it goes a long way too if you have a backup catcher that's been playing. He's not doesn't really have that much experience, and he comes out and he's been playing half the year or quarter of the year in your primary's position. So penciling him in, it's easy.
One's going to slice out a play, and not by much.
Yeah, the other thing is you switch hitting catcher. Kirk is going to play if he's healthy every time.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking. Caleb Joseph used to catch here. Now he does TV, and he tried to make the Jays, and Kirk beat him out. He said, I'm going to get beat out by this fat kid. And then he said, I saw him play, and I'm going, he apologized. He goes, because he is a little chunky, but he said he can hit, he can throw, he can do all kinds of stuff.
Hey, best top end in the game.
Yeah, I mean, and of course, one of the reasons they get all the way to the World Series last year is Alejandro Kirk.
He can hit.
And he can call a good game.
He does.
And, yeah, and
consistent.
Am I nuts? I mean, sign me up for a switch hitting catcher who can hit on my roster all day.
Oh, 100%. I mean, that's 2 players.
you mean Matt Wieters or Jason Varitek
Yeah,
or Adley Rutschman? Let's
Took
see.
the words right out of my mouth.
List.
Count is 2 balls and 2 strikes on Nathan Lucas, and a swing and a miss. A tip that's hung onto by Basayo. And it's a 1-2-3 inning authored by Kyle Bradish. Still 1-0 Baltimore.
Well, hook 'em when you can.
I mean, stuff for one, but I think too, just his demeanor, his confidence, and kind of as he's gotten settled here in the big leagues, the ability to adjust to multiple roles too. So he's not going to back down from any situation, and a little bit savvy beyond his years.
Vlad Guerrero Jr. having a good series. What have your conversations with him been like?
Normal, you know what I mean? I think Vlad, for the player that he's always been, I feel like there's always huge expectations for him. And the whole thing here is he can't do it all by himself. So he's starting to come around. He finds so much joy in coming to the park every day, and it's kind of contagious. So hopefully this series kind of gets him going a little bit. But I like the way he's swinging the bat right now.
Thanks, John.
Thanks, John. Appreciate it.
Matt?
John, thanks. One of the most patient hitters in the game. In fact, the most patient hitter in the game. Taylor Ward with a first pitch fly ball that opens third against Spencer Miles. 1-0 Baltimore. And Gunnar Henderson bats now with the bases empty. A lot of ground ball outs so far on both sides of the scorecard for both Spencer Miles and Kyle Bradish.
Here you go.
And on an appeal, he went around, says Adam Hamry at third base. Gunnar thinks differently. Is that what's coming next? Are we going to have a way to actually identify a check swing and take subjectivity out of it? Gunnar's got himself a base hit.
I mean, you would think with all the AI and all that, they could slow that down and see, but I don't think anybody knows what a check swing is.
Yeah, I think I'd do it in the World Series, Game 7. No, but I'd be doing it with 2 strikes. Otherwise, all you're doing is adding length to the game. I mean, every time you have a check swing and then strike one,
yeah,
kind of like challenging.
Right.
You got to use, your good judgment and all that.
Here's Adley Rutschman with 1 out and 1 on. Jim, I'm curious what you think of ABS.
I love the ABS.
Okay.
I mean, we were taught to throw the ball in the corner. I mean, when you were pitching well, and of course, I'm lucky enough to pitch with 3 20-game winners, 4 20-game winners. Cuellar, McNally, Dobson, and all that. They could.
Subtle flex.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they weren't Glavine and Maddox, where you could throw 2 inches off the plate and get the pitch, for 355 and 305 wins. But that's part of pitching. I just think for the umpires it is really difficult to call know what the strike zone is, up in the zone and low in the zone, but in and out, that's the way the game's supposed to be. Because you're seeing that the home plate is 17 inches, but with the diameter of the baseball, you can make the plate 21 to almost 22 inches wide, and the ABS shows us that.
I would have loved it. As a hitter, I mean, you can challenge. That's great. Especially, I take close pitches all the time.
Oh.
Like that?
Like that one.
Looked like Adley was a little fooled on that sinker.
Well, he's got a 96-mile-per-hour sinker.
Yeah.
Bottom drops out.
And when it starts at your hip, you're like, I can't pull the trigger.
Take a look at the improvement that Adley has gone through, and he lays off ball 4. Already the 3rd walk of the game issued by Miles.
Little surprising to throw him a 3-1 curveball. That doesn't throw it that often. Because he's not swinging. It's going to fool him. Throw him a sinker. That's what he's looking for. You make your pitch. Maybe get a ground ball. Maybe get out of the inning.
So this is the 2nd straight inning that Miles has had to deal with multiple base runners. And it's Pete Alonso who has the chance. He singled and scored in the 2nd. Alonso hitting just .215 this year with runners in scoring position. But it feels like you're always playing with fire when you pitch to the polar bear with men on. High fly ball into the right field corner. Sanchez tracking, and it's out of play.
Yeah, pretty good pitch to hit up and out over the plate. More middled, and yeah, 309 last year. It was the 3rd time for the Mets he drove over 100 runs. Not the most, but 120 something. Yeah, he had a special year. So let's see, he's hit 50 home runs once. He hit 40 home runs twice, and every other year other than the COVID year he hits 30.
He's won the home run derby twice. He's the Mets all-time home run hitter. He's in the prime of his career.
Does he get to 30?
And now he plays for the Orioles.
Does he,
And he wants to play for the Orioles.
does he get 30 this year?
Oh, yeah.
He is a baseball rat. And off the end of the bat, into the gap in right center. Alonso comes through with a runner in scoring position again.
Some guys just have a knack for steaks. Steaks are RBIs. Some guys just, hey, the polar bear loves steaks.
Had the game-winning hit with the bases loaded yesterday. So far today, 2 for 2 with an RBI and a run scored.
I mean, this is a pitcher's pitch. And what does he do? Hits it up the gap.
That's a good piece of hitting.
Yeah.
Didn't try to get too big.
Yeah,
Hit it where
Gunnar
it's
knows
pitched.
it's going to fall. And Adley, this is what walks do. I mean, that creates big innings. Adley gets a good read and goes all the way to third base.
Walks will haunt you.
Yeah. That's why yesterday, for the Orioles to lose when they walked 11 times, I don't know. I might have had to give up baseball.
So now Basayo with a 2-0 lead. Runners at the corners and running one away. And Basayo came back from an 0-2 count in the second to draw a base on balls. The challenge of navigating 27 outs is real. There's Alonso. He was left unchecked. We got through telling you earlier he's not really a threat to run, but if
He's
nobody's
so mad right
covering
now.
the bag.
Well, if you don't hold him on either.
Yeah.
It's what we call a running lead. You try not to even give the slow runners those type of leads.
He's only been thrown out 4 times in his career. He is 20 for 24 as a thief on base.
That's when you get a jump like that and you're yelling while you're running. Take it, take it.
We were talking about Alonso being that kind of baseball rat, and Craig Albernas punctuated that with us in our talk with him earlier today. He's the guy on the roster that wants all the information. He wants all the numbers. He wants all the data, all the video, all the toys and tools that are made available to the modern hitter.
And all the smoke. He wants to be in that big situation at all times because he's prepared. That's called preparation. A lot of guys, there's some guys I didn't want to know all the information. I wanted to, leave it up to instinct, but he's one of those guys. He knows what he needs and he relishes it.
Basayo rips that one into right. It's going to score Rutschman easily. Alonso to third.
And oh my goodness.
You got to throw the ball to second base right there.
Yes, I think so. I mean,
keep the double play in order.
This is why Basayo's Basayo. This is why they gave him the 8-year extension at age 20. That's a good slider in on his fist. He gets the barrel to the ball, and then he's thinking double. Not a good idea, but they don't throw to second.
There's only one place that ball should have gone, and it's to second base.
And he never hesitates.
So the team with the lowest 2-strike batting average in the sport has a pair of 2-strike hits this inning. And it's runners under second and third. Toronto infield in, as it seems to have been much of the afternoon for Leody Taveras.
Yeah, if you're Craig Albernas, you love this if you're managing the Orioles because your guy is shutting them out. And then all of a sudden you force them. I mean, if it's 3-2 or 3-3, the infield's back. You'll give them a run. But now all of a sudden a chance for base hit for 2 more runs.
0-2 the count to Taveras, who laid down a perfect sacrifice bunt in the second. Again, you got to wonder for the Jays, and there is some bullpen activity. It looks like Adam Macca, one of their left-handers, up.
Yeah, he was the opener 2 nights ago. Oh, good pitch.
Taveras a strikeout victim for out number 2. Yeah, you got to wonder about how you're going to navigate 27 outs here, because there's been some kind of high-stress innings for Miles, making only a second career start here, and it's still early in the afternoon.
Well, like we said, is what, 64, and he's up to 58. 64 is the max because he's been pitching out of the bullpen.
Colton Cowser now with second and third and 2 gone.
So let me ask you a question. I mean, well, Colton Cowser's a good fastball hitter, has struggled with changeups and curveballs. If you're not hitting the hook, do you look for it? Can you? I mean, especially before you get the 2 strikes, can you sit on a curveball?
Yeah, I mean, at some point you got to make an adjustment. This guy's just throwing you slider, slider, slider. I mean, you got to get the slider up, probably in his zone, and take a hack at it.
But if you know you can hit the heater, or at least that's what you hit best, are you afraid that if you look for the curveball, he's going to throw you the fastball, or is that just?
I mean, that's always in the back of your mind. I never came off the heater, like, because I know that was my strength. But at the end of the day, you got to make an adjustment.
Oh, he was looking for the heater that time after back-to-back curveballs. Colton Cowser has struck for a 3-run homer.
Right on cue, fastball.
Yep.
Or you can do that. Sit on a fastball and don't miss it.
It's a nice option.
It's a great option.
Especially if you're an Oriole fan. So what a week period of time. 2 walk-offs. All the other hits till yesterday were infield hits, and then he hits a double and now a home run.
Have yourself a week.
Former #1 draft choice out of Sam Houston State. He can run, he can throw, he can do a lot of things. He was the finalist for being a Gold Glover in left field. You know, at 24, hit 24 home runs. This is what he can do.
That ball center cut.
Yep.
Well, also, as we mentioned, and you set it up so beautifully, Jim, the curveball that started the at-bat, then back-to-back curveballs. You got a pretty good idea that he's going to throw you a fastball.
And he doesn't have a changeup. I mean, he's thrown, what, 2 all year. So you get a changeup pitcher, that's probably. Matt, if you were pitching against Cowser and you didn't have a changeup, you'd still throw it.
Well, it'd also be about 59 miles an hour. So.
That might get him out.
Boy, this has turned into a Saturday and Sunday for the Orioles with a big inning theme. Again, they struggled losing back-to-back 1-run games Thursday and Friday to start this series. A 5-run ninth yesterday and a 5-run third today. Second time in their last 4 turns to hit that they've had a 5-run inning.
Yeah, the problem is that for both teams, if you get big leads, it's kind of like the Seinfeld thing, you know. Yeah, I have a reservation, but do you have a car? Can you hold? Can you hold the lead?
Still 1-2 on Blaze Alexander.
And the starting pitching for both teams has been really good in this series until yesterday for the Jays. Then that was only because Savage was walking everybody. But again, they had a significant lead going into the 9th, 5-1.
Alexander is the 8th Oriole to bat in the inning. Wednesday, the Orioles had a 5-run inning against Tampa Bay. Man, this game is so fickle. Honestly, like they sweep one of the best teams in the sport. They sweep the Tampa Bay Rays. They lose 2 in a row to Toronto and look like a sweep is an inevitability, down by 4 in the 9th inning yesterday. And in like one fickle turn of events, they snatch one back yesterday. Big lead today. I mean, the swings are unbelievable here.
They are. And Jim, what do we say that is? That's baseball.
Yep.
That's how it goes. Especially like we were talking about Cowser, like the infield hits. Those are the ones that get you going. You get a few infield hits, you get a few bloopers, and you're like, okay, now I'm getting some knocks. Now I can, really swing the bat.
And then it also
I got something to play with.
It also gets him into the lineup.
Yeah, 100%.
Can't get out of any slump sitting on the bench.
That's true. Or in the training room.
After 4 straight foul balls, a little roller out to Ernie Clement that will put a merciful end to a big inning. The 3-run shot by Colton Cowser, the finishing piece on a 5-run third. All Baltimore at Camden Yards early this afternoon. 6-0 Birds.
not like the ball. Well, who does like it up and in unless you're looking there? Dave Winfield hit one about 450 off me. I said, gee, that was a really good pitch until it landed 450 feet away because he was looking for it. But yeah, he wants the ball away. But again, well, you know as well as anybody, Dexter, when you're down 6-0, can you focus as much as if it's a close game? Maybe, I know it's early, only the 4th inning.
Well, I think you have no choice. It's 6-0, and it's in the 3rd inning. You're like, hey, I got to get these knocks. Let's chip away.
But you become more aggressive?
I think you'd be more patient. Try to give your pitcher some time, especially a long inning like that. Try to get him some time on the bench so he can collect himself or get the bullpen going. There's
Dalton
one.
Varsho high and deep into
That's
the
a homer.
corner in right. If it stays fair, it's way out of here, and it is a foul ball.
Well, Kowser couldn't see it. Putting his hands up.
The notorious high sky, which I've always thought was the biggest oxymoron of a statement. The high sky. When is it not a high sky? It's the sky, for heaven's sake.
You know why? When there's no clouds, it's tough.
All right.
I remember spring training all the time. You go out in Arizona, and they say that was the high sky. Once that ball goes up, if you don't catch it off the bat, it's a wrap.
Let's take a look at Capital One checking accounts. We're talking no fees, no minimums, just one question. What's in your wallet?
Kyle Bradish has been efficient and effective. He's gotten his first 2 outs this inning on a total of 5 pitches. Kazuma Okamoto was a strikeout victim in the first.
Well, last year he was healthy, which is 2023 before the Tommy John. The next year he was 4th in the American League in Cy Young voting. So he could pitch when he's healthy, and he's healthy this year, and it's got progressively better. One thing they don't do for him very often, except that one year when they got almost 6 runs a game, they do not score a lot of runs for him. And in this day and age, when you're not going 7, 8, 9 innings, it's harder to win some games. So you look at his record at 2-6, and you're going, "Well, he can't pitch." No, he's the ace of this staff.
And John Fanta looking into the past for some tips on the future, we understand.
That's right. I asked Kyle this week, I said, where's the adjustment come from for you? And he said, honestly, sat down with the coaching staff and we were watching 2023 film. That's where I saw how well the curveball could work for me.
Like that?
We've queued this up pretty nicely.
Right on cue.
2 balls and 2 strikes.
Struggled early. Scatter ball like a shotgun. It was all over the place, and not anymore.
Emergency hack by Okamoto to stay alive.
Well, you see the swings these guys are taking. That will tell you enough that he has good stuff. It's tough to pick up. He has that short arm slot.
The next 2-2 from a curveball that missed.
Well, why did John Snyder tell us about Okamoto? Great power to the opposite field. Now the second game around here, he pulled it in a 2-run shot. But he does lead this team in home runs.
He's homered in his last 2 games after being held without a homer for 18 straight. And he takes ball 4. And for Okamoto, that's the first walk he's taken in the better part of 2 weeks.
Right at the top of the zone. Sayo tries to. In the old days, you drag it down, you might get the call. Now, if you did, they'll challenge it and
just tap twice.
Yeah.
I got $1 that says Ernie swings at the first pitch.
Nope. Yep.
Death taxes and Ernie Clement swinging 0-0.
Well, it's working. I mean, look at the 295. Not a home run guy. He's a contact guy. Can play all over.
And a wildly popular player north of the border. Clement to right. And this is playable for Kowser to retire the side. Nothing comes of the 2-out walk. Still 6-0 Orioles. Of Love Island USA, hosted by Ariana Maddox. streaming June 2nd only on Peacock. Who was the winner there? The hot dog?
Well, he's won 6 in a row till today. Well, you know, the hot dog or the mustard? Or you're just
they're all wieners to me. The mustard was the winner today, apparently.
Was it again? That's 7 in a row.
Really? We got a thing going on.
He was like 0 for 20.
He's streaking.
He's like the Teddy Roosevelt of
yeah. Well,
okay.
Well, Nathan Lucas, he was what, 0 for 23, and now he's getting hit every other time up.
What have you done for me lately?
Adam Macko is the new pitcher on for the Blue Jays.
Yeah, he got the opener job a couple of days ago and pitched pretty well. He shut him out. And
There you go.
And on an appeal, no swing. So it's a ball and 2 strikes on Jackson Holliday, leading off the home 4th. Holliday, Ward, and Henderson. Baltimore on top 6-0. 3-run homer by Colton Cowser kind of finished off Spencer Miles' afternoon. Miles ends up going 3 in his second career major league start. And he'll hand the ball off to a guy who has opened in the past. Holliday sends a high fly ball out to center for Dalton Varsho. Adam Macko is interesting. The first ever Slovakian-born Major League Baseball player. Moved to Ireland when he was a young guy. Played high school baseball in Alberta, Canada, so I think Blue Jays fans consider him one of their own. And they'll lean on him to try to get a little farther down the line here this afternoon. He's going to get a first pitch out on Taylor Ward. I can't remember the last time Taylor Ward made back-to-back outs on swinging at the first pitch. Wow.
That is crazy, especially being one of the most patient hitters. Maybe he's trying to catch him off guard. But you got to stick with your strength.
Going to jump you.
do you ever see the show? I think it's on Netflix, Heartland, filmed in Alberta.
I have not.
It's like 18 seasons.
Wow.
And if you travel a lot,
you binge that.
I'm in my 4th month.
2 gone, bases empty for Gunnar Henderson.
They don't show any baseball scenes. It's all about fishing and horse show, and it's kind of like a horse soap opera.
The kind of stuff that the media guides of the 1970s used to say. The very last entry for each player enjoys fishing, hunting in the off season. Not so much of that. Not as much of it anymore. A lot of guys.
Yeah,
still
and
like
if you like to play basketball or motorcycle racing or skiing, you didn't tell your general manager.
That's right.
You're quiet about that one.
Who, when you played, Jim, was the biggest kind of closet daredevil? Guy that had those wild off-season pursuits.
Well, we'll get back to that.
We'll give you a whole half inning to think about it. Jimenez in the sun. Man, he never picked that up cleanly. A 10-pitch inning for Adam Macko as the Orioles go down in order for just the 2nd time this afternoon. On the other side of the scorecard spells a mid-game 6-0 lead for the Orioles as we welcome you back. Jesus Sanchez leads things off for Toronto. 6, 7, 8 part of the order here for John Schneider, looking to try to get something going on an afternoon where they've been limited to only 3 base runners, 2 singles and a walk. And that's how good Bradish has been to start the day.
Yeah, the other thing you try to do is get the first batter out. I mean, Lucas jam shot, let it off, but other than that, 3 out of 4 times. Then you start looking at walks. Miles has been, or was, more wild than Bradish with only the 1 walk. So not a lot of gifts today from Kyle Bradish.
No, he's definitely been stingy.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you're down 6 runs. You just want to get base runners on and see where it takes you. Because at this rate, when the guy's throwing a gem like this, you got to get him out the game. Make him throw as many pitches as he can quickly. So he's out.
Sanchez behind ball and 2 strikes. He's got one of those 2 singles today for Toronto.
He hit a curveball back in the 2nd. He played a lot with Miami. He's got some big time power. they asked John Slider the other day, what do you want him to do? He says, I want him to hit fly balls to center or the pull side.
You know, it's another thing I've heard the Blue Jays talk about with Sanchez and John in particular is to not go as hard at the plate. They want him to just take a little bit off his approach. I feel like sometimes he's not too aggressive, but swings the bat a little too violently.
That's a knock. You got to go.
Be close. Alexander gets it there in time.
No. That's Blaze Alexander world.
That is.
One gone to start the fifth. Back to Charles McAdoo, the rookie first baseman. If you're wondering, and I certainly was among those that were, when you see a name as distinctive as McAdoo, you wonder about the connection or potential relationship with the great NBAer Bob McAdoo. The answer is Charles is a distant cousin. Hits that one to deep center field. And Taveras just shy of the track is there for out number 2.
How distant?
I didn't get the exact Ancestry.me breakdown, but we're just told distant cousin of Bob McAdoo. Good enough for me. Did you watch Game 7 last night, by the way?
Did I? That was a great game.
Surprising result for you, or did you?
Surprising. I thought OKC was going to win it. But when you got a guy out there, Wemby goes crazy. And I think it's going to be a good series.
Yeah, I think so too.
Especially because the Knicks beat the Spurs in the, what do you call it, the Cup, NBA Cup. So it's going to be payback from way back. But the Spurs are playing good basketball.
2 balls and no strikes. The count to Andres Jimenez.
Well, I think most people thought Oklahoma's going to win. They said they're the favorites. So,
yeah.
you know,
right
over the Knicks, and then they're not playing them.
And you get Game 7 at home.
Yeah.
Kind of fell in their lap. 2 balls and no strikes to Jimenez.
Kind of like playing the Mets in 1969 when you win 109 games.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I love how it goes back to that.
I know. Well,
Baseball players have good memories.
Or we have imaginative memories. You know, in the old days, before they had retro sheet, and I mean, I guess I worked with Cosell at ABC for 9 years, and you know, how would if you say it with enough, you know, and he would shake his hand and just say, if you say it with enough sincerity, people think you're telling the truth. Now you can go back and actually look at the numbers from way back.
And there's ball 4 to Jimenez. You weren't in the booth for the Chambliss homer, were you? When Howard completely stepped all over the call?
No, but that's Howard.
Boy, was it ever. Boy,
But I was there in '78. Dexter and I were talking about it. They told me to watch the one-game playoff, and Yankees won. Reggie would play, and I'd go broadcast with Howard and Keith Jackson.
Wow.
That's what I was surprised. He said he played
how about that for starting your broadcasting career?
Broadcasting and playing.
Middle of the afternoon, still 6-0 Birds. NBC and Peacock as Nelly Corda leads the world's best golfers to LA's iconic Riviera Country Club. The weekend coverage is live June 6th and 7th on NBC and Peacock.
And Michelle Wee's back in it.
Time for a FanDuel same-game parlay live style with Pete Alonso. You can bet on the number of pitches he takes in this plate appearance and the result on FanDuel. Alonso will hit second behind Adley Rutschman. Samuel Basayo hits third. And Adam Macko, after a 1-2-3-4, is going to get a very quick out to start the fifth. What do they say about playing at Riviera? And I know you guys are both avid golfers who have played that track often. The Kikuya will get you. Is that? Do I have that right, Jim?
That's very true.
Yeah. Well, if you miss a green,
it's you know what? It's not hard to miss a green there.
No. Yeah.
They got the fairways going at 13, 14. It's pretty easy to do.
Pete Alonso.
Actually, I played there with Al Michaels and borrowed Jerry West clubs. And, you know, the late Jerry West, you know, one of the great basketball guys of all time. And I thought they'd work because he shot a 59 with him.
2 gone.
Speaking of Jerry West, Michelle Wee is playing in the U.S. Open, and Michelle Wee West, so that's her father-in-law.
Really?
Yeah, Johnny West. She married Johnny West.
Oh.
So maybe she has some magic. Maybe she'll shoot a 59.
Well, I don't know about a 59. She could take a 63.
She'll take a 65.
When is your series coming out, Jim Palmer? Like, you got a book coming out, or maybe a documentary series? I've heard more stories in the last inning. Cosell, Michaels,
well, that's
West.
John, that's because it's 6-0.
And when you've been alive for 90 years.
That's true.
You've been alive for 90 years.
Yeah, well, that's true.
You have a lot of stories.
Fanta, think about this, because Dex and I each have one as Samuel Basayo hooks a base hit into right. And that makes him 2 for 2 against Adam Macko in this series. So we all get, I think, Jim, if you'll indulge us, we should all get one question for Jim Palmer that we've always wanted to ask you.
Really?
Yes. I already have mine. I'm not sure if this is the time. Well, yeah, maybe this is the time for it. I want to know if you found out on your Hall of Fame vote, because there are a few guys that didn't vote for you somehow. Yeah. You're a first ballot guy, obviously. If you've ever found out their identities.
No, but I only got, well, not only, but I think I got 411 out of 433.
I know, but those
it's not like one.
Those other 22 would hack me off. I'd want their names and ranks and serial numbers.
Here's the deal: when they call you and they tell you you're going to the Hall of Fame, you say thank you very much. What do I do? Actually, Jack Lang said we're going to call between 7 and 8 o'clock if you get in, and it's 8:30 and I haven't gotten a call. Because they thought I was at a crab restaurant here that's closed in the order.
and a called strike three taken by Leody Taveras. A poorly timed visit to a crab restaurant takes us to break. Balls, bases, and more at auctions.mlb.com. 6-0 Orioles, top of the 6th inning, and the top of the order for the Blue Jays against a very stingy Kyle Bradish this afternoon.
Well, he's pitching like he's capable of, and of course, third time through the order. I mean, Dexter, you can mention about that. Does it get a little bit easier, or does it depend on how good the guy is on the mound?
It depends how good the guy is on the mound, but at the end of the day, those veteran pitchers, the third time through, they're giving you something you haven't had yet. And
how about the young guys?
Yeah,
you've seen everything the first time up.
Absolutely, but like I was alluding to, those old guys, it's almost like you give them more strength the longer they're out there. So you try to get them early.
2 balls and a strike to count to Nathan Lucas, who has one of the 2 Toronto hits today. The only 2 hits by left-handed hitting Blue Jays, and both of them just singles.
Well, the 2 hottest guys are coming up this inning, and that's Lucas, who, you know, now 19 for 39.
2-2.
And then right behind him, you got Vlad, who.
If the Blue Jays appear to be a team that I don't want to use the term sleepy because that's not fair. There's a bouncer for Henderson. The point I'm getting at here is that Toronto is wrapping up a really rough stretch of schedule, 17 in a row, that finally yields to a day off tomorrow before they travel to Atlanta.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you really want to go to Atlanta anymore. Not because it's not a nice city, but the way they're playing.
Yeah.
Best record in baseball.
First team to 40 wins, got there yesterday. That's about as good a team as the league has to offer right now.
That ballpark is a launching pad, man. So you want to go there ready to hit.
Well, they're going to get a lot better when they get Kirk back, when they get Barger back, when they get some of their pitchers back. They'll be healthier. And the great thing, I played in an era where we won 100 games and Yankees won 103. There's no wild card back then, or you know, and now there's what, 8 of them. So they're still in the race, right. 3 or 4 games out.
Vlad with a rocket into center field. It carries to Tavares for out number 2. Hit that one right on the screw.
Well, that's how you get them out. Get lucky.
Yeah.
T-Mobile, America's best network, connects you to America's pastime. T-Mobile. 2 gone, bases empty for Dalton Varsho. I think we would all agree that despite the way this one has started, with Toronto being shut down, this is a good line. This is a really good team with an excellent manager and a very good front office behind it. And in what's been a down year for the American League, and I think that's fair, where essentially the entire circuit is wild card viable. It's going to be a fun summer in Toronto when they get some of their horses back. They're going to be in this race.
Yeah. And the Orioles are thinking the same way. Craig Albornoz, well, let's see, he was with Cleveland, then he was in Tampa, he was with the Giants. And when we were playing the Rays, Shane McClanahan came over, and because he knew him, you know, one of the best left-handers now that he's healthy, and he said, "You guys really have a nice team." Now that will be determined. I mean, I always felt that when I played on those good teams, we determined if we were any good by how many games we could win.
Right.
So that's what baseball is about. But who
can stay healthy.
Yeah. And nowadays it just seems the IL is littered with good players.
Yeah. It is made for a lot of parity in the American League in particular.
But again, like if you look at these numbers, this is last year they threw in a 13 out of 16, and then about a month later they won 21 and 5.
That's crazy.
Varsho bounces it to Alonso, feeds it to Bradish. 6 shutout innings for Kyle Bradish this afternoon. That time after back-to-back curveballs, Colton Cowser has struck for a 3-run homer. Have yourself a week. Colton Cowser has had a nice week. Back-to-back games with a walk-off homer, a 3-run blast here this afternoon, and a big part of a 6-0 lead for the home side as we welcome you back to Sunday leadoff on Peacock. Colton leads things off in the 6th. Against a rookie right-hander making his major league debut this afternoon, Hayden Yinger on the mound for the Blue Jays. One of a number of players to make a major league debut this season in Toronto. Only the White Sox have used more. And we've seen a bunch of these guys today. Adam Macko made his major league debut this year. Charles McAdoo, Spencer Miles, Kazu Komodo, Brandon Valenzuela.
Well, that's what injuries do, and you know, whether you're position players or pitchers, and he gets a chance. What, 17 games down at the AAA Buffalo, a couple of starts, 3.15 ERA.
And his first big league plate appearance will result in a walk. Hauser's aboard in the 6th.
And everybody throws 94 or 95. That's a major league fastball now. If you don't feel good about yourself.
Right. Feel like I'm a thumber.
Boy, John Schneider getting used to a lot of new faces and names. The equipment guy getting used to, grabbing baseballs and bats and stuffing them into the corner of the clubhouse to give them to guys to take home to put on the mantle. John Fanta, how else are the Blue Jays dealing with all the youth? Having a little communication issue with John. We'll get to him in a moment. Blaze Alexander, meanwhile, with a 2-0 count. 6 straight misses from Yinger. I mean, the nerves have to be real.
I mean, this dude threw 6 straight balls and you swing.
You know, we did that the other night.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Alonso did that. I get a text from Boog Powell, you know, one of MVP, was second one year at 350 home runs. He goes, 3 guys just walked in, you swing at the first pitch.
Boog watches that closely.
Oh, he does.
He's lined in. Okay.
Yeah, he's down in Key West. Yeah, that's.
You can lock a guy. You can lock a guy in if they're throwing all balls and nobody's swinging. and you swing at one and foul it off. Like, it's like, okay, now I can throw a strike, and then you start really going at guys.
Well, you got your fastball to hit. This could probably be a breaking ball. Nope, another heater.
Especially a guy making his major league debut.
Yeah. Well, for a lot of young pitchers, I mean, it's not what you do best. It's what they tell you how to get the guy out.
Right.
And that's hard to do. I mean, you know, maybe a little bit easier when you get into your mid-20s.
Yinger is a St. Louis guy who grew up idolizing, among other great Cardinals, Adam Wainwright.
Well, that's a pretty good guy.
Pretty good one to molly.
How about Chris Carpenter? I might have to get him on my list too.
Probably on there somewhere.
You must have faced him.
I faced them. Wayne was my teammate.
Yeah. Whoa.
Rocket back up the middle. And Alexander is aboard a series of fastballs.
Yeah, he's been too hot to try to get him out in the middle of the plate. I think we said last 24 games came in, hit 350. And the other thing, I mean, the bat's special, and I mentioned it earlier. You can put him anywhere, he's going to help you defensively. And what did Craig Alberna said that, hey, we're getting better defensively. Part of it is who you're playing.
Also said we're getting better with 2 strikes, and he wasn't lying. A major league low 145 hitting lineup with 2 strikes. 4 of their 7 hits today, however, have come in 2-strike counts. And now Jackson Holliday.
Yeah, the league average usually right around what, 165, 167 on the year, you know, with 2 strikes. So
first and second with nobody out. Holliday has to move out of the way. 2-0 now, and a well-timed visit from Brandon Valenzuela.
A little change up that misses. Yeah, you come up here and they're telling you what to throw. And
food in the oven but don't want to miss a pitch? Just tell Siri, set a timer for 10 minutes.
I think we've reestablished John Fanta's communication down there. John, we were talking about all the new faces on the Toronto roster.
Absolutely, Matt. And the way that they're able to get these guys acclimated to the big league roster really starts with the veterans. Adam Macko told me earlier this week that Max Scherzer and Kevin Gausman have been 2 of the guys who have always been willing to provide advice and insights. And I asked John Schneider about the Jays blending the old with the youth together. He told me when you've got guys like George Springer and Vlad Guerrero Jr., a welcoming climate takes care of itself.
Well, they might have to welcome a new right fielder because Jesus Sanchez,
that was weird,
has hurt himself. At first I thought the timeout was because somebody threw something onto the field.
Yeah, there's a ball out there, right?
There's a ball. It's Sanchez, his glove and a ball from somewhere lie in right field. Did that ball come from the stands?
It had to have.
I mean, that's what are you thinking?
That's wild.
I mean, I'd fingerprint it right now.
Well, they have enough cameras around here.
He's coming out of the game.
Who did it?
This is unbelievable.
Might be a first for me. I've never seen anything like this.
I mean, of all the things that have happened to the Blue Jays as far as the injured list is concerned, to lose a guy otherwise healthy because something came out of the stands and hit him on the arm. I mean, we're assuming that's what happened. People are pointing into the stands in right. Watch the upper right-hand side of your screen here where Jesus is. He turns around. He's walking toward the fence. Turns back around.
He's talking to somebody.
Yeah. And then, yeah, something came onto the field. Sure enough.
And hit him in the arm.
Man, that is unreal. So, Yohendrick Pinango is going to take over in right. And Jesus Sanchez is being removed from the game.
Hey, you thought you've seen it all. I've never seen that before.
Nope.
I mean, John Schneider's just got to be saying, what next? It's just been the worst run. A thrown ball from the stands cost him his right fielder. And the at-bat continues with Holiday. A 2-0 pitch is in for a strike.
Yeah, and one of our better offensive players, at least one of the better young. Now, Pinango can hit. He's not great defensively.
3 balls and a strike to Holiday. And this is threatening to spiral out of control here.
Wow.
And the bases are loaded with nobody out.
The catcher is challenging the pitch.
Yeah, that looks like
we will have a challenge.
Yeah, it looked like a strike. Remember the old days, 3-0, it's automatic? Not anymore.
Not anymore, you're right.
Pitch is a strike. Toronto has 2 remaining.
3 balls and a strike to count to Holiday. 3-2 make it. 3-2 a full count to Jackson Holiday. Cowser walked. Alexander singled. And the 3-2 home. Top of the order due up next for Baltimore. Again, they have an opportunity here to blow this one wide open. Still a full count to Jackson Holiday.
Yeah, Jackson would like to join the party. 0-for-2.
Had enjoyed a pretty good series leading into this afternoon's finale. 4 of 11 with a homer.
One of the big hits on a pretty good pitch. Hoffman only made 1 good pitch, or 2 good pitches. Struck out Basayo and then got in trouble. Was the splitter he threw Jackson Holiday, and he stayed with it. Easily could have swung through it, and then the Orioles score 5 runs to win it.
And that was ball 4. So bases loaded with nobody out now for Taylor Ward, who's hitless. And again, he's recorded an out on the first pitch in each of his last 2 at-bats.
Tough tickets. You got the most patient hitter coming up, and this guy's not throwing strikes with bases loaded. So,
but don't you think he's looking belt high in the middle of the plate?
You have to.
Yeah.
Very dangerous hitter. And a very patient hitter who takes a first pitch breaking ball.
I keep saying that because he hit 36 home runs, and then the year before he hit 26, and then he got Bean. The year before that he had 23, and everybody on my Twitter said, "Will you stop saying that he's got power?" Well,
he has a lot of thump.
Yeah.
He was my teammate, and I can tell you, he could carry you for a week.
Exactly.
That's right.
I talked to Mark Gubas, because we talk all the time, and he does the Angel games, and I said, "Tell me about Taylor Ward." He said, he gets good swings off, whether it's a breaking ball or a fastball. I think he hit 17 home runs on breaking balls last year.
Counts 0-2.
Now, he did get hit on the hand back in April, so maybe that slows the bat down a little bit.
Deters him.
Under the pitcher, and the Jays are still able to turn that into a double play.
Pitcher's best friend.
Cowser scores from third. It's a 7-0 ball game.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to look at it.
Baltimore's challenging the out call at first base.
It looks safe to me. And it is. I mean, when you get a check swing, let's see how hard. See, he's going as fast as, well, maybe he's not. There he takes off. So again, disappointing when the check swing on a bases loaded. Nice slider.
That was good footwork, though.
No, he
threw that off his back foot.
Call on the field is overturned. The runner's safe. Baltimore retains.
Yeah, you were on that, Jim. Ward legs it out.
Well, I did umpire in Little League one time, and I swear I was helping somebody out in Scottsdale, and every play was, I didn't know, so I just alternated. You know.
Fred Ward with the RBI, his 17th of the season. First and third, a run in with only one gone now for Gunnar Henderson, who on the first pitch lines into left center. Varsho on the move. The play off the wall. Alexander scores easily. Ward to third. 8-0 Baltimore.
Michael Jackson off the wall.
Well, the Oriole fans like this because this is Gunnar Henderson. He can smoke the ball. Yep.
You saw Varsho. It looked like he had a good break on it, and that ball just kept on going. It was backspun correctly.
Infield in for Toronto, and yes, we have been saying that for much of the afternoon. Here's Adley Rutschman for a fourth time.
And scoreboard forces John Snyder to do that.
8 runs on 8 hits for Baltimore today. Oh, and 2. Tough outing for the young right-hander making a major league debut here today. The Baltimore lineup has really gotten loud on this homestand. A season best 11 runs on Wednesday against Tampa Bay as a part of the sweep. They come back with a 5-run ninth yesterday for a win, and they've scored 8 so far this afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, even the Friday game when they blew the 5-0 lead, they hit 3 home runs in that game. Now, they didn't hit well in runners in scoring position, but that's why you play 162 games.
That's right.
See what you're made of.
The ebbs and flows of the season. You're going to have those streaks where you go out, and you're playing at home, and you're hitting everything. Then you go on the road, and it's the total opposite. Or it's flip-flop. When you go on the road, you're raking, and come home, everybody's like, why can't you hit at home? It's like we did 2 series ago.
High fly ball out to right center. Varsho under it. He makes the catch. Ward comes in to score. 3rd run of the inning. 9-0 Baltimore.
Yep, the old sacrifice fly. Look for something you get in the air, and just missed a home run, but he gets the run in.
He knew it too. He'll take the ribby. He wanted 3 of them.
Well, the Orioles came into this game scoring almost 5 runs a game, 4.9 runs a game here at home.
6 different Orioles have driven in a run today. Now it's Alonso. He's got an RBI on a 2-for-3 afternoon.
I still haven't seen him hit one. Really hit one. Of course, he hits fly balls that just go out. I mean, that's who Pete Alonso is. But I mean, you
like
know,
the 450s.
Yeah, the 445 to left center.
You know, his evolution, and I don't think he gets enough credit, Alonso, for being a complete hitter. And you mentioned earlier, Jim, his power to right center. I think a lot of people make the mistake of assuming that a guy like Pete Alonso with that big power is a dead pull guy. Not the case.
I mean, 7 of his 11 homers are oppo.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's crazy.
Who's the best opposite field hitter you played with, Dex?
Best opposite field hitter I played with? That's a good question. Carlos Gonzalez.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Cargo used to hit balls oppo, and I was like, did a righty hit that? Matt Holliday.
Matt Holliday,
Yeah,
good
well,
one.
we end up with what, about, I think 401 home runs or something.
Todd Helton. A lot of guys.
What about Larry Walker, another Hall of Famer?
I didn't play with Larry.
No.
I didn't play with Larry. I actually got traded, and then they signed. I mean, he got traded so they could sign me when I was with the Rockies.
Full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
My draft year.
High fly ball, infield pop style. Clement, it got trouble written all over it. Ernie able to back up and make the catch, putting an end to a 3-run 6th.
Previous half inning, Jesus Sanchez exiting the game. The Blue Jays right fielder was struck by a ball thrown from the stands. I've checked in with a Camden Yards employee out there who told me that fan was ejected. Guys, as you said upstairs, absolutely no place for that. Sad to have to report that, but an unfortunate situation. We'll keep you posted on what we hear from the Jays on Sanchez.
Yeah, thanks, John. Just a bizarre turn of events earlier this afternoon, and without Sanchez and trailing 9-0, the Jays march on. And in the 7th inning, they've got Okamoto, Clement, and Pinango, who took the place of Jesus Sanchez after that odd turn of events in right field. Meanwhile,
add insult to injury.
Yeah, and
Literally.
speaking of plugging on, I mean, Kyle Bradish has been fantastic here today. This is the 2nd time this month that he's going to try to get through 7 innings, and he has not allowed much of anything on this day. A couple of walks and a couple of singles, Jim.
Yeah, well, how you do it is keep your pitch count down. When I told you about he's being traded from the Angels, his first couple of years in the big leagues, great stuff, didn't have command, 18, 19 pitches an inning. Last year he was down to 16. This year, 18, so it's hard to get into the late innings, but that's changed.
And Okamoto yanks that one just foul.
And, and then you look at lifetime numbers, and he hadn't pitched that well against the Jays. He's better, different people, and all that. So at the end of the day, can you get him out that day? And he's done a great job of doing that. Like I said, I think when the season started, I thought he was going to be the #1 starter for the Orioles, and he still has a chance to do that.
Kids pitching like this.
He has not thrown more than 14 pitches in an inning today, and he strikes out Okamoto for the 2nd time.
Well, that's last year's slider, and struggled with it early this year. But when you're 2 for 32 on this pitch last year, when he came back from the Tommy John,
that's nasty.
Yeah.
One gone for Ernie Clement, who's hitless 0 for 2 today.
Okay.
First pitch?
Nope.
Not this time?
Nope.
He's 3 for 3. Does he understand he's making a liar out of a Hall of Famer?
That's not a liar. Hey, I never won the lottery.
See, this is why the pitchers throwing to him are saying the same thing. He's not going to swing first pitch right now.
Right.
Not again.
Well, I wouldn't worry too much about it if it was 9-0. But.
Well, what did John Schneider tell us before the game? He said there have been moments where, because Ernie has this reputation as a first pitch swinger, he goes into auto take mode and he takes a ball right down the middle of the plate and he's like, see, I got to stay who I am.
Confirmation.
Well, when I came to the big leagues, when I was 19, we had a guy, Jackie Brandt, and everybody said Jackie Brandt was going to be the next Willie Mays. And he used to always take the first pitch. And my manager was Hank Bauer, played on those 5 World Series teams with the Yankees. And it used to infuriate him because Hank was a fastball hitter.
Little chopper for Gunnar, bare hand.
He runs too well for that.
Yeah.
So if anyway, we're in Boston and guy throws a he says, Jackie said, I'm looking for a changeup, and we go to Boston. First pitch is a changeup, and Jackie takes it. But he wasn't the next Willie Mays, because they don't make a whole lot of those guys.
No, they don't.
Looking first pitch change. And Gunnar just a.
But when he got it, he never swung, so he really wasn't.
I love it. I love it. 1 out, 1 on for Yohendrick Pinango. Pinango, one of the rookies to have made a major league debut. That had a lot of English on its way back up the middle of the field.
How did he hit that ball?
I don't know. That was crazy.
And get it through the infield. I mean, he hit it on his knuckles.
That's what the bat boy's doing. He's going to pick up his thumbs.
Oh, pretty good swing right there.
Dude can hit. So first and second. And believe it or not, this is the first time all afternoon that the Blue Jays have put multiple base runners aboard against Kyle Bradish.
And they have somebody up in the Oriole bullpen.
Tyler Wells.
6'8". Talk about Rule 5 guys. That's how the Orioles got him out of Minnesota organization.
Next pitch to Charles McAdoo, grounded to Gunnar, flips to Holiday, back to Alonso. The throw's airmailed, and that's how Toronto gets on the scoreboard for the first time this afternoon.
Yeah, strange play because you don't practice this. I think he thought Gunnar was going to take it himself, but no way he could do that. And that's just Jackson with inexperience.
9-1 Baltimore. And now Andres Jimenez. Feel like while it's still a very reasonable pitch count given the lopsided score, this is probably near the end for Kyle Bradish.
Well, the Orioles are, before they go to Boston, are off tomorrow too. So, and Wells pitched in this series a 1-2-3 inning with 6 pitches, and they brought in Cano, and that's when Guerrero hit the game-winning double after a couple of hits. So who do you want to get work when you have a 9-1 lead? That's really what it comes down to.
Jimenez has walked and grounded out this afternoon. Jays finally on the scoreboard here in the 7th. It took a miscue of sorts to allow that to happen. It's one of the things Craig Albertaz told us before the game, that philosophically, because of the where the game is right now, not just with the Orioles, fewer draft rounds, fewer minor league teams, fewer games are required from players before they get to Major League Baseball. There's still not only coaching that has to happen at the major league level, there's teaching that has to happen up here.
Yeah, before you're coming up in the minor leagues, and you weren't, when I was coming up, you weren't going to the next level until you started learning the basics of the game. And when you got to the big leagues, then that's in your back of your mind, like, this is an everyday baseball game, and this is how it's supposed to be done. Now guys are learning on the fly because, like you said, they're rushed up there, and there's a need for them, but the talent is different than it was as well. Like, you have to have these guys, especially with injuries, with teams, and guys who are, their talent can be in the big leagues.
Full count to Andres Jimenez. And what might be Kyle Bradish's final pitch of the afternoon. Got him looking, and it's going to be challenged by Jimenez.
The batter is challenging the pitch. Pitch is the ball.
4.
Toronto has 2 remaining.
Call is overturned, and now we're going to have a little conversation on the mound.
Well, I think this is Craig Albertaz.
At Ace, no matter how you grill, we've got the perfect one for you. Because only your local Ace has all the best brands in one place, like Weber, Big Green Egg, Traeger, and Blackstone. That sounds pretty perfect.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
No move yet turns into just the conversation, so Kyle Bradish able to talk his way into at least one more hitter. Hopefully just one more hitter if you're an Orioles fan. And it's Brandon Valenzuela, the switch hitting catcher. Wells ready to go in the bullpen. I think we can say with relative certainty that this will be the final batter that Bradish faces today. As it stands right now, Shane Baz is the only Orioles starter with more than one start of 7 innings of work. If Bradish can finish off Valenzuela here, he will join him in that regard.
Oh, wow.
What
that was crazy.
There? Basayo catch that on the wrist?
I don't know how he caught that.
Well, he's a big guy. It's hard to get a ball by him. I mean, let's see. There's your hook. Oh, armpit.
Oh, and the bicep.
That's the shoulder he hurt yesterday, or at least he left the game holding.
And we're discovering new places for pads every day. Ball and a strike to Valenzuela. 1-2. Not as relevant in an 8-run game, but there is some thump on the Toronto bench this afternoon. Should somebody like,
oh wow,
no, was timeout given? I believe it was.
Yeah,
wow.
And he throws a nice down and in slider for a strike.
This is always crazy.
Now we're going to have somebody ejected here. It's watch it.
He pump faked him too.
Yeah, he
Todd
did.
Tishner pump faked him.
Yeah, he did.
He was about to throw him. He said, "Did he go?" This is always tough for the hitter after you call timeout. You see the dude through a slider. Is he going to throw another slider?
Curveball. Yep.
Well, Jim, it's almost like you've done this yourself a couple of times.
Well, every once in a while.
7 strong innings from Kyle Bradish this afternoon. Sunday leadoff on Peacock is brought to you by Ford. Ready, set, Ford. Some notable pitchers who have worn both uniforms in franchise history. Cy Young Award winner Pat Henkin. That's a real roll call of honor there. Kevin Gossman's turned into an ace of the staff.
Yeah, the Orioles are very happy he didn't pitch in the series. A #1 draft choice. In fact, I think his first start ever for the Orioles was up in Toronto.
Speaking of staff aces, Kyle Bradish was staff ace-like today. 7 strong innings, shutting down the Blue Jays on 1 run on 4 hits.
Yeah, nothing like it. You pitch well and you get 9 runs on the board, and you get a lot of runs early.
Unearned run too, I might add. Yeah. So a couple of changes as we fast forward here this afternoon.
Yeah, Rodriguez is going to come in. He saw him yesterday. He pitched an inning with a 5-1 lead, which they eventually would blow.
Cuban-born right-hander on to make his 8th appearance of the year. The ERA north of 7 in a very small sample size. And Miles Straw taking over in center field behind him.
Pitched very well for the Jays last year, over 50 games.
Samuel Basayo leading things off. Basayo, Taveras, and Causer. Out to right, knuckling its way out to Yohendrick Pinango. The MLB app has you covered all season long. Get personalized highlights and push notifications just for you. Download the MLB app, the #1 app for live baseball.
That ball was hit hard.
Yes, well, it's Basayo hit it.
His biceps feeling better.
One gone for Leody Taveras. Nine runs on 8 hits and an error for Baltimore. A run on only 4 hits for Toronto today.
You know, Matt, you were talking about coming to the big leagues a little bit earlier and much quicker and all that. That's why the Orioles hired Mike Schilt to run their minor league department, because if you're going to do that, you want to let them know how you play the game of baseball.
And Schilte's very good at that. He was my manager in St. Louis, and he's all about fundamentals.
Oh, and 2 to Taveras. Well, there used to be those old numbers, right? The old player development guys would say you need X number of plate appearances before you can get there. You need X number of innings, unless you're David Clyde or, you know, some other
or Barry Bonds
abnormality like some other complete freak of nature. You got to have that minor league service time. Those thresholds no longer exist. Not to mention, guys are getting paid before they even get here, so you want to collect on your investment at the major league level.
Right.
You're going to give Jackson Chiro $180 million or whatever the number is, and then you're going to sit him in Double-A ball for 3 years? No, we want you here.
I mean, Mike Elias has been a little more patient, but some, you know, whether it was Cowser, whether it was Hurstad, or maybe even Gunnar, I do want him to get enough at-bats at Triple-A to feel comfortable to come up here and have success. But he's also trying to win.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, not only this year, but, you know, the Orioles, won 75 games last year, but the year before 91, the year before 101. So you want to bring guys up that are going to help you do that.
High infield pop. McAdoo on the mound.
And it goes a long way when a guy comes up here with confidence, and then, you know, at the major league level, is hitting their stride when they're coming, instead of the guy that doesn't have that many at bats and he gets up here, he's nervous and have to send them back down. Because I've been sent down before, and it's, you know, it does something to your confidence.
That is a fine line to walk, though, Jim, what you lay out there. You're trying to win while you're developing your roster at the major league level. Some would say that that's a mutually exclusive endeavor. You can't do both at the same time. I don't know. I feel like with the right personnel, you know, you guys in 2016 with the Cubs, Dexter, you were not a finished group. You guys were still learning while you won a World Series.
100%, but we had a lot of veterans in the locker room to kind of help these guys get over their learning curve, and that's a lot of it. You come up here and you see the game's fast, the guys are making all these plays, and you can't afford to make mistakes. But when you do, you got to have the veteran guys to jump in and be like, hey, look, this is how it's supposed to be done. And also, you have guys out there who have been there and done that, so you're watching them and seeing how they go about their work.
There's a base hit back up the middle. And just imagine, had you signed with the Orioles like you told everybody you were going to do in 2016, that World Series might have been delivered here instead of at Wrigley Field.
Let's get this straight. I didn't say anything.
I don't know, but that's all I.
All
I know is everybody asked me. You better ask Dexter about that.
Hey, I need to ask. You know, I need to ask. I need to ask John Heyman. John Heyman's the one who tweeted that out in the first place, and I was like, wait, what? I'm calling my agent. I said, how do you know something that I don't know? I didn't put pen to paper. I didn't agree to this.
Well,
it's like the arson judge.
Oh, well, did you do it verbally?
Like, that's crazy. I didn't do it verbally at all. We were nowhere close.
But how do we know that?
Because they came out after I signed and said, yeah, we were nowhere close to signing Dex. So I apologize. I shouldn't have to apologize to the Orioles fans, but I love. Trust me, I love hitting here.
exactly. And
I love playing here. The fans are great.
Well, I would say this also, that John Heyman is a very good baseball writer, been at this a long time. He probably was misled somewhere along the line by somebody who might have even done it strategically.
Well, see, now we talked about it today. It's AI,
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so, but it wasn't AI back there.
No, it was.
You know
I think it was another initial.
You might have been the difference, because the Orioles went to the wild card, actually lost to the Jays up in Toronto.
That's
year.
right.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the Zach Britton in the bullpen game.
Well, that was Hunter. That was Tommy Hunter. That was Dylan Bundy. That was.
They had a good squad.
Well, no. And they went to Waldo.
Yeah.
Gonna have another challenge here.
Pitch is a ball.
Wow.
Baltimore has 2 remaining.
I mean,
You got to zoom in.
Come on. 0.1 inches. Makes it 2-2. All right, Blaze Alexander, we see you. Your eye's that good. That was impressive. That one an easier take. Full count now. In a 9-1 lead for Baltimore, 2 out, runner at first base.
I mean, you got 2 ABSs left. You can't take them.
Burn them.
Yeah, burn them.
It's also why the percentages are misleading, because sometimes teams burn them just because they have them. Cowser goes into shallow right. Oh, and Pinyango can't finish with the catch. Throw's going to come into second base. Nobody's covering first.
Oh my gosh.
And now Cowser breaking for the plate, where they get him trying to score.
Just hope he didn't get hurt.
Not many spring training drills on the backfields get you ready for that circus act. Still 9-1 Baltimore. Plus live radio broadcasts, game day, 3D, big inning, and minor league action. Visit MLB.com/MLB Plus to subscribe today. Tyler Wells, the new pitcher for the Orioles, maybe with an opportunity to record the final 6 outs on this Sunday afternoon, and he'll get the top of the Toronto lineup here in the 8th.
It's a big dude.
Oh, 6'8", in Rule 5 guy. Tommy John with the Twins, and then back with the Orioles a couple of years ago. He had Tommy John, but he throws strikes. Woo. Cutters, got a really, I mean, maybe not this year as much. Terrific changer. And he started for the Orioles too, in years past.
6 of his 20 appearances this year have been of more than an inning, and so there is a chance Wells can take the Orioles home after the 7th strong by Kyle Bradish to start the day. Pitched in the 7th inning of Friday's game, and retired Nathan Lucas on Friday, something that does not happen here leading off the 8th inning today. We've got some, I guess, some more information on what happened in right field with John Fanta. John, what else have you learned about that oddness out there?
Yes, Matt, out here in the right field bleachers, and asked a bunch of fans who saw it firsthand. It was a young man under the age of 10. He had a baseball in his hand. He thought he was getting a cue from Jesus Sanchez to toss him the ball, play a little bit of catch. Sanchez obviously did not see the baseball coming. It hits him in the right arm. That young man and his dad, they were escorted out by Camden Yards, but this was an accidental occurrence by the young man.
Yeah, I guess that's better news than somebody who had bad intentions throwing an object onto the field, that's for sure.
So it was a kid.
It was a kid. Thought
Henry Rowan Gardner or what?
Thought he was being, I guess, engaged in a friendly exchange with Jesus Sanchez. Jesus had turned his back when the fan delivered the baseball on the field. It hit Sanchez on what looked like the wrist or the forearm that led to his removal from the game. And then per team policy, the fan and his guardian, his father apparently, according to John's report, were escorted out of the ballpark. So it does look like Jesus is waving, and I guess it was just misinterpreted, and that's what happened.
Got a good arm.
Good spin rate.
Yeah.
Ball and 2 strikes to Vlad Guerrero Jr.
Hopefully he's okay.
Yeah. I got an off day. A little ice.
Four hits yesterday for Vlad. Quiet today so far.
Ooh.
Out to right field.
Pretty good fastball from Tyler Wells.
Up and in. Yeah.
Yep. Well, he is 6'8". He does spin the ball, but his the normal extension down the rubber is about 6 feet 4 inches. He's about 6'1".
Yeah, a guy like that, you feel like he should be handing the ball to the catcher.
Yeah.
Down the mound.
And there are some guys that do that.
Yeah, like Tyler Glass now.
1 out, 1 on now for Dalton Varsho.
It's uncomfortable at bat when guys are that tall and they have so much extension.
Check that, Miles Straw, who came on defensively for Varsho earlier. Hey, so earlier, when it looked like it was kind of going this way, 9-1 the score here, we said between John and Dexter and I, we each had one question for Jim Palmer that we've always wanted to ask him. I already blew mine out.
Oh, and you had, I never
have more.
Yeah, I never answered it.
Yeah, I asked you earlier for folks just dropping in if you did any receipt keeping on the handful of Hall of Fame voters that didn't put you in as a first ballot guy.
No, I didn't. No.
You did not. You're a better man than I.
Yeah.
I would have wanted name, rank, and serial number for all of them. So Dexter, do you have a? I
actually have a good question.
All right, what do you got?
It came up as we pulled in today.
We'll decide that.
Good.
But go ahead.
The Lexus you had, what year is that?
Well, that's a whole nother story. Listen, if you're an antique, you want to drive one.
I saw that and I was like, I haven't seen one of those in a long time.
Well, here's the deal. There's he's still around, broadcaster, Tom Davis, who's been here for, he's like in his 70s. Done Ravens, done Orioles, done everything. Every year, he loans me his car.
It's in mint condition. I will tell you that.
Well, it's funny you said I went to the Safeway and a kid with a noisy BMW, and I said, hey, they give tickets down here? And he said, well, they got other things to worry about in Baltimore. But he goes, what a car you have. Boy, that's like in mint condition. And it's nice. It's safe. Now, it doesn't have Bluetooth or it doesn't have a rear view.
Does it have navigation?
Yes. Oh, it has all that stuff.
Does it have a tape deck in it?
It does, as a matter of fact. I don't have any tapes, but I mean, if I did, it would.
That thing looked like it had a typewriter in it.
But it's got 88,000 miles on it. It gets me to the gym in Canton. It gets me to the ballpark.
88,000 is not that much.
No.
That's crazy.
And Tom's got another one that looks exactly like that.
That's wild.
Yeah. So thank you, Tom Davis.
2-0 to Kazuma Okamoto. See, I wanted to ask you about playing for Earl Weaver, but Dex went right to your car.
Yeah, but you asked me a question earlier. What were the players that did really crazy stuff in the offseason?
Oh, yeah, the Daredevils.
Yeah. We used to play golf with Earl Weaver.
Was he a snapper on the golf course, too?
Yeah, but he didn't take strokes until he moved to Miami, and then he realized that's what you do. There was nothing like beating Earl Weaver on the golf course. We used to play bridge golf.
Especially if he's giving you no strokes. That's fine.
He didn't give us strokes.
That's what I'm saying.
He was horrible.
Runners first and second.
A guy that's terrible at golf and doesn't want any strokes is crazy.
But he learned the minute he joined a country club.
Oh, he had to learn because he was giving more money away.
Exactly.
You learn quickly.
First and second with 2 gone now for Ernie Clement, who makes it a perfect 4 for 4, swinging at the first pitch today.
Take a pitch, will you, please?
Well, the overhit on that one. John Fanta, did you have your one question for Hall of Famer Jim Palmer?
Yes, I do. Jim Palmer, who's the person that you've met in your life that you were actually starstruck by?
Good one.
Oh, really? Jeez. I met a lot of presidents. we had national baseball, and Ronald Reagan threw out the first pitch about 85 miles per hour. So I walked up to him, and I introduced myself even though I had my uniform. I mean, he's surprised. Why would he know who I am? And I said, "Did you warm up in the West Wing, or how'd you do that?" And it was, I mean,
85s. That's strong.
I couldn't believe it. He had a suit on, and I mean, nice little.
Probably a vest on.
He did, No, he did not.
And he said, "Well, Jim." 0-2 to Ernie Clement.
Actually, I did a fundraiser in Beverly Hills for pediatric AIDS, and they had Robin Williams there, they had Elton John, they had Holly Hunter, they had Little Richard, Danny DeVito, Koufax, Carlton. Raised like $3.5 million, so it's really nice for pediatric AIDS. Like I said, I'm on Elton John, and I said, he goes, "How are you doing?" And I said, "You must really like. You probably don't watch baseball." He said, "No, I do." And I said, "Who's your favorite player?" And he said, "Mickey Tettleton."
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that's crazy.
He was Mickey Tettleton.
Yeah.
All right. If he'd said Oakland A's vintage Mickey Tettleton, I would call nonsense on the story. But I think Mickey had a lot of fans in Baltimore and Detroit too.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Had a son's pretty good quarterback too. 4 straight heaters fouled away by Ernie Clement. Two out, 2 on in a 9-1 Orioles lead. The next one too, and Ernie will do this all day.
No,
Ernie's got to be in the Pepper Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
This is. I mean, his bat to ball skills are amongst anybody I've ever seen. Like, this dude hits balls everywhere. Up, down, inside out, doesn't matter. He's ready to go.
And Ernie lines that one into left.
What a guy.
It's going to get Lucas around to score. Okamoto gets the stop sign at third, and it's a 9-2 ball game.
Yeah, the one thing for Jays fan, I mean, he's hitting around 250 with runners in scoring position, almost 300 batting average. He will drive in runs because he makes contact.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a couple of good days with runners in scoring position. At 250 gets to 270 in a hurry.
Well, he was a couple of breaks away from World Series MVP honors. He had such a great postseason run with the Blue Jays. As we talked about, it's become a wildly popular fan favorite. Earlier this year, the Jays had a Ernie Clement hockey jersey giveaway. You're combining two of the passionate items for a Toronto sports fan, one of their favorite baseball players and their favorite sport, and that thing went like crazy, as you could imagine. So 2 runners in scoring position after Clement's RBI double, and now Yohendrick Pinango singled in his first trip to the plate in the 7th inning. It was Pinango that took over in right for Jesus Sanchez after the ball came out of the stands, and John Fanta has clarified the details of that story. Not as nefarious as we thought it was. It was a young fan who thought that he was involving Jesus in a game of catch. Unfortunately, Jesus was not involved, and that one's going to go. My goodness, can that guy mash?
That ball's murdered.
Boy, and just like that, it's a 9-5 ball game.
Well, now you got to get worried if you're Craig Albernes. This whole series has been teams that have blown late. 5-1 by the Jays yesterday, 5-0 by the Orioles on Friday night. That's what the cutter does. If you do not get it inside, it speeds the bat up, and he crushes it.
A 3-run home run for Yohendrick Pinango. To your point, Jim, the Baltimore bullpen has now allowed 10 runs in not even 4 complete games in the series. Welcome to the game.
That's hilarious. That's what you miss most, being in the dugout and locker room.
Wow. Yeah, just
that ball is mushed.
And now Charles McAdoo. Pinyango is really an intriguing player. He is far from a finished product defensively. Not sure he has a right answer as to where to go defensively in a corner outfield. And now a base hit by McAdoo.
Well, all I know is if I'm an Oriole fan, I'm blaming that kid that wounded Sanchez, because that's the only way Pinango got in the game. And he's got 2 hits, one of them a 3-run home run. And
as they said in the dugout, welcome to the game.
Yeah.
So pitching coach Drew French is out for a conversation. Rico Garcia is up in the bullpen for Baltimore. This is something that Craig Albarnez had not really contemplated at the start of the inning. But there's much more urgency than there was about 15 minutes ago.
And you got the off day, and Rico Garcia, it took him about 2.5 months to give up a hit. And he's able to pitch multiple innings, so he could get 4 outs. We used to go up to Fenway and used to say, no lead is safe. In this series, no lead the last 3 games is really that safe.
Reminder, Cubs Cardinals coming up on Sunday Night Baseball on NBC and Peacock, also known as the Dexter Fowler Bowl. Andres Jimenez into foul territory. Blaze Alexander has it. Stand down. However, 4 in the 8th has made this a much more interesting ball game. Las Vegas Aces with their 2-time Olympian star Jackie Young take on the Golden State Valkyries. The WNBA on NBC and streaming on Peacock. Well, if you ducked away, funny thing happened on the way to the refrigerator. 4 runs in the top of the 8th by the Blue Jays has made this interesting. Mason Fluharty, the left-hander, on to work the bottom half of the 8th inning. He'll get Jackson Holliday, then the top of the order in a 9-5 Baltimore lead.
Yeah, second appearance in this series. Everything moves. 50% cutters and the rest sweepers. Not a hard throw, 91-ish. And there's the sweeper.
As a lefty, though, looks like it's coming out behind you.
Well, he does. He has a closed stance, hides the ball well.
On the first base side.
Yep. And let's see, he ranks 7th in exit velocity. At least the lowest. It's about almost 88 miles per hour is the average ball off the bat. Exit velocity, he's about 85.7.
Pitched on Friday to a different part of the lineup. And the 2-2. And he gets Holliday on a swing and a miss. More spin.
Yeah, that's his game. And of course, lefties are coming in at 6 for 40. Now make it 6 for 41.
I mean, if he's getting the guys out like that, you should almost just open up and just look at him coming out the first base side.
You mean go up the baseline and try to hit?
No, yeah, just open up like where he's coming out of the window.
Taylor Ward hit an RBI double and later scored a run in the 6th inning.
Well, when a guy is that deceptive, Dexter, is it hard to pick up that release point, the little window of release?
100%. And you know, in a lot of these ballparks, like you have this sign in right center. It's probably coming out the sign. It's probably left of the batter's eye.
Nothing wrong with that, by the way.
Nothing wrong with it. It's definitely legal. As long as it's on the rubber.
Woo! And people would ask, why'd you drop your arm position? Well, the T. Rowe Price sign.
And a called strike 3
Wow.
taken by Ward. Hey, they just made an announcement in the press box here that the Yohendrick Pinyango homer at 421 feet was a official Utah Street home run, meaning it got out of here.
So he's getting a plaque?
He is getting a plaque.
On the Utah Street.
Yeah.
The 136th homer in the history of this ballpark to get all the way out to Utah Street. And I'm not sure that Yo Hendrick is even aware of that yet.
No. They're doing construction out there. I mean, if you're a fan, you want to have a construction helmet on the way he hit it.
There have been 2 of them this year, both of them by visiting players. Ketel Marte of the Diamondbacks did it earlier this season.
Those are the balls that you got to yell for.
I don't think anybody's yet to hit the warehouse, except Ken Griffey Jr. did it in the.
The Derby.
Barry did it too, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he?
I think Barry hit it too.
Oh well, it's a rather nice inning, wouldn't you say?
Fluharty, all business. Last chance for Toronto, down by 4. Jays that came back after trailing by 4 in the 9th inning to post a victory. The visitors trying to pull that same accomplishment here today. Problem is, among others, they're going to have to deal with a guy who's been really good this year. The Hawaii native 32-year-old veteran Rico Garcia on to try to close it down for Baltimore.
Well, good fastball, really good changeup.
Brandon Valenzuela on the first pitch, bounces it to Alonso, 1 pitch, 1 out.
And when you go through your first 11 appearances and you don't give up a hit, you're on a roll.
Yeah, you're pretty good.
I mean, now the notes, they go, well, let's see. He's allowed 1 hit in his last 2 home appearances. No runs, but 1 hit. Nice play by Pete. Smothered it in a sense.
He did.
Let's check in with John Fanta.
Yeah, Matt, after Jesus Sanchez was hit by that young boy by the baseball earlier in this game, it's a right wrist contusion, underwent precautionary x-rays. Those returned negative for a fracture. I just asked John Schneider any level of concern. He goes, no, not much.
Good news indeed. And Garcia's first pitch to Nathan Lucas is in for a strike.
Yeah, they'll need him down in Atlanta. Atlanta with the second best offense in the National League.
And Lucas pops it up.
Another changeup.
Jays down to their final out this afternoon.
Yeah, one of the big surprises in baseball is the team leading the National League in runs scored.
The Washington
Nationals just down the road here.
Right, that's right.
Well, they got a whole new manager. I mean, everybody's young.
They got a young squad.
I don't even know. You know what? I did not do the Nats, so I don't know their hitting instructor, but he's having a good year.
He's also got some talented players.
Yeah. Well, James Wood. Boy.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. C.J. Abrams has had a great year. Last chance for Toronto, and it's Vlad Guerrero Jr.
What's a nice test to end the game? Trying to get Guerrero out. 4 for 4 yesterday, 0 for 4 today.
I'd say all things considered, a couple of strikes away is Rico Garcia from a pretty good week for the Baltimore Orioles, trying to win for the 7th time in their last 10 games. And when you have a 4-pitch arsenal that hasn't yielded much.
And they got him on waivers from the Mets.
The Metropolitans.
So let's see. Alonso no longer a Met. Garcia no longer a Met.
Off the end of the bat, a broken one at that. And fittingly, it is Pete Alonso that puts an end to the afternoon. And the Baltimore Orioles, with a big offensive output today, have earned a series split with a 9-5 victory this afternoon.
Salvaged it.
Among the offensive heroes for Baltimore, Colt Cowser, whose 3-run home run capped off a 5-run third and kind of put this thing out of reach. Toronto charged back on the Pinongo homer with 4 in the 8th. Too little too late. 9-5 Baltimore.
Yeah, I ran into Colt Cowser's dad yesterday, and I said, you know, your son's one of our best all-around players if he can hit. And if he hits, he's going to play. That's kind of the way the game should be.
I heard Colton's dad was on the golf course when he hit his second walk-off homer in as many days and that he missed it. I bet he was tuned in today. And when we come back, John Fanta will visit with Colton Cowser. Back for more from Baltimore after a 9-5 Orioles win right after this. In fact, in Baltimore's lineup today, each of their first 5 hitters scored a run and had at least 1 run driven in. And then you get to Colton Cowser, the number 7 hitter, who has the biggest day of all of them, 2 for 3, a homer and 4 runs.
I think so too. And being playing on both sides, it's like all the Cubs want to see what the Cardinals did. The Cardinals want to see what the Cubs did. So it's like you've been in those locker rooms, and there's definitely they respect each other, but they don't like each other at all.
Well, yeah, both great franchises. I remember broadcasting when I was doing Monday Night Baseball. I walked in, Steve Stone said, "You don't want to be pitching in Wrigley Field being a fly ball pitcher." So, but I did a lot of really good games broadcasting there. But the Cubs, and you see Cub fans everywhere. And
yeah,
they're so loyal.
Both teams